Getting your Kindle Direct Publishing account terminated, banned, blocked, suspended, whatever you like to call it, is a serious problem, and it can be devastating. And sometimes you may feel like you've not done anything wrong at all. So that's why we're going to be looking at the common reasons that people get their accounts terminated, what you can do if you do get that dreaded email, and how you can move forward if you do get your account blocked. Now, if you've not been here before, my name's Paul Miles and I do videos on how to make it, keep it, grow it, and that's your money I'm talking about. And if you do like videos like that, then please do give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell to receive notification of when I produce more videos like this, but also make sure you've got notifications turned on. So why are we looking at this problem? Well, getting your KDP account terminated is a serious problem. And looking at the number of comments I get on this, looking at the number of messages I get on this, and also looking at the number of people that have this problem on the KDP community platform, it's a common problem. In fact, on the forum, if you have a look there, you'll find that every 3 or 4 messages are around the issues of getting your KDP account terminated or suspended. And also it's very serious because for a lot of people this can be a considerable chunk of their monthly income, and for some people it's their only monthly income. So waking up one morning and seeing that email to say that your account has been terminated and you can no longer access it is devastating. So what we're going to do today is have a look at the 4 main reasons that I think people get their accounts suspended or terminated for. Then we're going to look at what you can do if you do get that email. And then we're going to look at how you can move forward if you do get your account terminated. So let's have a look at the common reasons. Now, before we get into these 4 main reasons, I want to say something about this. It's almost, I think it's like an urban myth where KDP accounts, Amazon accounts can get banned or shut down arbitrarily. And what I mean by that is that there's no reason. You suddenly wake up one morning, you look at your emails and there's this email saying that your account is terminated, or you try and access your account, you try and log in, but it doesn't allow you to log in because you no longer have an account. And there are people that will say, you know, this happens for no reason. Amazon just randomly shuts accounts, sometimes by mistake, or there's some sort of underlying system that picks out accounts and just shuts them down. Well, I don't think that's correct. I think actually, if you were to dig deeper into all these account terminations, you'll find that there is some underlying issue or problem that was there that led to the termination. So it may feel like there's no reason, but actually there is. So let's have a look at the first reason. Now, this could get your account suspended, or you may receive a warning, which could eventually lead to a termination. And that's something I touched on in a video last week on creating multiple covers to one interior. Now, this really only applies if you're doing things like colouring books, puzzle books, activity books, where you have those sort of original interiors, if you like, or if you're creating non-fiction or fiction books and using royalty-free content or PLR content that's freely available on the web, and you're using that to create books. Now, this issue is essentially around the issue of duplicate content. Now, quite often when you try and publish that content on KDP, it will highlight to you that there's a problem with duplicate content and won't allow you to publish. But sometimes, and it seems quite often, it will get through. And I've had people message me saying, well, it's okay, I've got one colouring book and I've got a space theme, I've got a unicorn theme on the cover, I've got a theme that will attract boys, I've got a theme that will be attractive to girls. So where is the problem? The problem, I think, comes around customer experience, because you can guarantee there will be some people that will think they are different books. And so they'll buy one and they'll buy another and they'll find that they've got the same interior. Now, what will happen is that this leads to a complaint with Amazon, and you'll probably get negative reviews on the book. So it highlights to Amazon there's an issue here with your account. It sort of flags up an issue, and you don't really want that. What you want is just to fly under the radar, do everything by the book, and keep KDP and Amazon happy. And I think rightly so, because just think of yourself as a customer. If you're doing a space-themed cover and say a unicorn themed cover on the same interior, well, that customer is also going to expect that if they're buying a space themed cover, the interior will also be space themed. Now, this is just an example. So how can you give a good customer service if you've got that one generic interior, but you're advertising it to attract different niche followers or different people that are interested in different niches? I don't think that's particularly good, and it can lead to issues with your account. Now, number 2, which is a big one, and that's trademark and copyright infringement. And a lot of people still don't seem to get this. I get messages saying, is it okay to use Disney characters and Marvel characters on the front of my books? The answer is a big no. And a general rule of thumb is, if you're creating a business or creating content and you're making money off someone else's creation, someone else's intellectual property, then it's not right, it's not correct, and you're liable to receive a warning, suspension, or even just a termination from using trademark or copyrighted material. Now, if any of you have done merch by Amazon, you will know how big an issue this is with Amazon. They don't like it. They can actually experience issues themselves around this, so they don't want to take risks, and so it can really cause a problem with your account. So I would say, just as a general rule of thumb, if it is someone else's intellectual property, don't use it. Just create original content, original covers, original graphics that you can use inside or on the covers of your books. Now, certain terms, certain phrases, certain words can also be trademarked. Now, just as an extreme example, it might be like using phrases such as Coca-Cola or Disney. These are trademarked, and it's easy to find out whether certain words, phrases are trademarked by going to sites like uspto.gov and Trademarkia and checking that out. Now, there is also a related issue in terms of licensing your content. You've got to make sure that the content you use, or wherever you get the content from, you've got the license to use that in commercial and print-on-demand services. And this is your business, and it's up to you to make yourselves satisfied that what you're using is legal. Now, again, I do get a lot of messages saying, I've got this graphic from such a site, is it okay to use? Well, in order for me to work that out, I've got to go to that site. I've got to spend 5-10 minutes reading through the license, making sure I'm all familiar with it, because licenses do change over time. So each time I'd have to do that. So my view is, why should I actually go and spend 5 to 10 minutes doing work that you should be doing for your business? And you need to make yourselves satisfied that that's the case. So that's what I would recommend on that, just making sure that you're satisfied that you're within the law. Now, if you're in a situation whereby you think, I must use this because the sales of my book are going to depend on it, then it may come down to actually consulting a copyright attorney in your country, state, city, wherever you are. Now, the third one is a big one, and probably this is one of the most common reasons, and that's having more than one account. Now, this can be done accidentally or can be on purpose. Some people do it on purpose because they want a number of accounts to create lots of different books in different niches, and almost are trying to game the system. And Amazon will find out, and you will just get a straight termination. But how can you do it accidentally? Well, some people can have a KDP account that they've opened years ago using an email address, and then they could forget about it, and then they come to open up another KDP account on a different email address, And again, that will lead to a straight termination for having more than one account. And this is in the Amazon's terms of service. They lay that out, it's crystal clear. Now, if you suddenly realize that you do have more than one KDP account, then go log into one of those accounts and close it down. Please don't take the risk, because it normally just leads to a straight termination without any warning or suspension. Now, the fourth reason is related in a way to the third reason, and that is getting your account banned for having more than one account. But you may not actually have more than one account. And what can happen is, if one or more people are logged into KDP on the same, say, internet connection or have the same IP address, that can be flagged up as someone having more than one account and can lead to your account getting shut down. Also, it's possible that if you're on a network or internet connection and it's been used by someone that's had their account terminated, then this can also lead to your account being terminated. So what I do personally is make sure that when I'm logging into my KDP account, I use it on a clean internet connection, if you like, that no one else has logged into a KDP account with, or that anyone that's had a ban has logged in with. Now, I don't actually know anyone that's had a ban, so that wouldn't be the case anyway. But I avoid logging into my KDP account if I'm on a public network, say in a coffee shop or in a cafe or internet cafe, that type of thing. And if you think about it, how often do you need to log into your KDP account? I create all my covers, my interiors on third-party software, so you don't need it to be logged into your KDP account with that. You only really need to log in when you're uploading a book or you're looking at your reports. So just make sure it is on a clean internet connection. So the next thing we can look at is what happens if you get one of these dreaded emails, which is usually a warning you've done something wrong, or a suspension, or an outright termination. Now, I always feel that prevention is better than cure. So make sure you're familiar with those 4 points we've just talked about and try and mitigate any issues, any risks that may lead to one of these emails landing in your inbox. Now, it is important that you do check your inbox and your junk folder regularly in case you do get an email that warns you that there is an issue with your account, because you need to take action on it. And quite often they'll give you a time period in which you need to take action on that email. And if you don't, that can lead to a suspension or termination. Now, if you do get one of these emails that's a warning that you've done something wrong, then take action, rectify it. Now, you may be given an option then to email KDP, and in which case do so. Tell them what you've done to correct the problem and that it won't happen again. Now, the other type of email can be a suspension, where your account can be blocked for, maybe a number of weeks. Now, in most of these cases, they don't invite you to email them. If they do, then by all means do so. But if they don't, my advice would be, don't make a bad situation worse. Let Amazon go through their process and see what the outcome is. Now, you've not got any control over that, and I know that can be distressing, but it's something you're just going to have to go through. Now, the third situation is, what if you get that email where you've got the termination, you try and log into your account and you can no longer do that? Well, unfortunately, there's very little you can do, because you can't even log into your account anymore. Now, you can go to the KDP help page and look down the menu on the left-hand side. And if you click on one of those boxes, it does come up with options to email KDP or call them. Now, you can try doing that. Unfortunately, I haven't come across or heard of a single person where they've been able to get their account back. And unfortunately, once you receive that termination, it also means you can't use other services, aggregators, if you like, that will upload books and content for you. So really, that is the end of the line in terms of KDP, but not in terms of making money. So this is where we come on to the third part. What can you do if you've got your account terminated? Well, one option would be to have your books self-published and maybe sell them on platforms like Etsy. The problem is you'll find that compared to Amazon, that's quite an expensive option. So you will end up selling your books for more on Etsy. But there are people that are doing well, doing that, selling things like planners, gratitude journals, those types of things, and also just normal plain notebooks and journals. But I say the issue is they are quite expensive on there compared to what they're selling for on Amazon. But if you can make something look very bespoke and crafty, that can work. Now, I want you to imagine that if you have been publishing for a while, you've probably built up some skills in terms of design. You've got some assets on your computer in terms of interiors and cover designs. So why not use those skills, use what you've created and sell those on other platforms? So an example would be something like Fiverr. If you're able to create interiors or covers, why not use those skills and sell that service on Fiverr? Creative Fabrica. Now that's a good one. You can create covers and or interiors, and currently interiors are very popular on Creative Fabrica. So you could use what you've created or go and create more covers and sell them as 120-page PDF files or PNGs or vector files, because there are lots of people currently buying those on Creative Fabrica, and it's only really been going on for the last 5 months. So that's a really young, untapped market, and I think there's a huge potential there. Using something like Upwork is also an option which I think is very viable. You can provide your graphic design service, your interior design service to other publishers and make money that way. You could also collaborate with other authors and publishers. You could go and onto Amazon, see who's publishing books, see who maybe is successful, look at their author name, do a Google search, see if you can find them, see if you can find contact details, and see if they want to work with you, particularly if you are good at designing covers and interiors. There might be a slight issue in that if they find out that you've had your account terminated, they may be a bit wary about working with you. So that covers the main causes. That covers what you can do if you do get one of these dreaded emails. Don't panic. Be sensible. Be logical. Don't use emotion when you're replying to Amazon. Just go about it in a business-like manner. And then what you can do if you do get one of these dreaded emails or you get your account terminated. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. But make sure you do hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and until next time, goodbye.